Hello, CEP 200 students, and welcome to the fall semester of the Intro to the Counseling Professions online course. My name is Dr. Gray, and I'm going to be your instructor for this semester. So we can go ahead and just jump right in. So this is your welcome video, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through the syllabus and the tracking calendar, give you a little bit of information about the course and what you can expect from this semester, and then also just give you an idea of what I'm looking for from all of the students, what my expectations are of the course. And then there will actually be one of these videos for every unit in the course. And it's not one of those videos that is pre-recorded and used for every semester. I actually go through each semester while I'm teaching this course and record a new video for each semester. So with that being said, let me take a look. So I'm actually looking at the syllabus. So if you want to pull that up with me, we can start to go through that. So with that being said, one of the first things that I always have to mention for this course is what exactly we're going to talk about and learn about in this course. So there's been a trend over semesters where students kind of have the wrong idea of what we're going to learn about in this course. So I really like to kind of get that right away, right off the bat. So in this course, we don't necessarily learn about different approaches to counseling or different techniques and interventions to use in counseling, or how to engage your clients in a counseling session or anything like that. If you are looking for something more down that road, there are other courses that are offered from UB that touch on that. I believe one is Intro to Counseling. But that may or may not be a graduate level course. But nevertheless, what we do learn about in this course is the different counseling professions. So kind of just like with the course, the course title indicates. So we learn about all of the different counseling professions that are available to you in the field. So that might be mental health counseling, rehabilitation counseling, marriage and family counseling, that kind of thing. And what we will learn about is, what is a counselor? What is counseling? What is the difference among counselors? What are the different counseling settings that these professionals may work in? And also, most importantly, what are the credentials necessary that are needed to become each, of the counselors in the different counseling professions. So this course is essentially designed to give you at least an intro or some information about what the different counseling professions look like. This course was actually just redesigned in January of this year. So this is my fourth time teaching the course. I did a winter session, a spring session, as well as a summer session. The courses each time have been a little bit different. Earlier on, when I first rolled out the course in the winter, it was pretty heavy. There was an advocacy paper that was due, and then also a presentation that presented all of the information that you found within your advocacy paper. As this is an intro course, I did kind of take that out because it was a little workload heavy. And with that being said, we will actually go into the tracking calendar in just a couple of minutes, and you will see that you have a little bit of time to complete each unit. I know that some units have a little bit more reading associated, so the amount of time between the units should be able to give you some buffer time to get everything done. But before I went off on that, I just wanted to go through the course objectives. So by the completion of this course, or upon the completion of this course, you should be able to comprehend the diverse counseling fields in the unique context or settings to which they occur. Gain an understanding of the personal, professional, developmental, cultural, and ethical considerations involved in the practice of counseling. Develop an appreciation of some current professional issues and challenges facing the counseling profession. Expand your awareness of the values, characteristics, and competencies necessary to be a counselor in the variety of professional settings, and demonstrate the ability to research and present information to an audience. So the way that I have this course set up is not only are you going to be presented with information about the different counseling professions in each of the units. I have them split up pretty nicely and grouped pretty well together as far as relevance goes. But what I also have done in each unit I've also presented some issues that counselors in those positions or in those settings may face. So, we will talk a lot about trauma-informed care. We will also talk about the adverse childhood experiences studies, which I know a lot of counselors who are kind of working in nonprofits or, in cities as a mental health counselor or something of that sort, will generally, work with clientele of that population. So I like to bring issues up that different counselors might face in their professions, and I think that you'll find that through the units. So let's see. I am going to jump down to the required texts and materials. So there is one book that is required for this course. It is called The Sage Guide to Careers for Counseling and Clinical Practice. You will find that this book is relatively small. And I do that on purpose because I do provide a lot of supplemental material in each of the units as well. There are some articles that I have included in each of the units for you to also read. But the thing that's really neat about this book is it just presents the necessary information that you need to know about each of the counseling professions. And in addition to that, there is actually, towards the end of each chapter or of each counseling profession, it does an interview from an individual who actually works in that profession. So what's really cool about that is you will be able to see that even if you go as a counselor who perhaps you go the route of rehabilitation counseling and you become a certified rehabilitation counselor. You may also find yourself not only working in vocations and helping individuals who, have become disabled find other jobs, but you also might find yourself working in the same kind of area or clinic as someone who's a mental health counselor and doing the same type of work. So what's really cool is that no matter I don't want to say no matter, but sometimes when you choose a particular counseling profession, you can do many things with it. And sometimes you'll find that the counseling professions kind of cross over into one another as far as duties. But if you have any questions about that, it can be kind of confusing. But if you have any questions about that throughout the semester, please email me and ask. I am more than happy to kind of go through and explain things if they weren't explained well enough in the material within that unit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump down to the course assignments and grading policy. So for almost every unit in the course, you are going to have a unit assignment. Typically what these unit assignments look like, they are a series of questions that's basically just asking you to reflect on the different material that you have read or learned about in each of the units. So it's really just a way to kind of get you to reflect and then also ask you some questions that get your wheels turning and maybe get you to kind of internalize and process the information in a way that you may not have already done when you were initially reviewing the materials. So for every unit, almost every unit, you will have a unit assignment. It should already be in the unit folders, pre-uploaded for you. If you go in, there's a template on there. I believe it is created in Microsoft Word. Go through, fill out the template right there, save it as a document, and just upload it as that. The templates make it really easy for me to kind of grade and see, what was being asked and stuff. I have had students kind of just create a blank Word document and copy and paste their answers. But if you could just utilize the template and save it as that would be really awesome. So next to that, you will also have discussion boards in almost every unit. And the point of these discussion boards are basically to just kind of get you guys interacting with one another, bouncing ideas off of each other, really understanding or maybe even being offered a different perspective of the material. So with these discussion boards, these are each worth 25 points. So your initial post that you make from the prompt that I have posted in each of the discussion boards, it's worth 15 points. And then what you are required to do is you are required to comment on 2 of your classmates' posts. Those are going to each be worth 5 points. So what I have noticed in the past is that students might kind of jump into the unit early and complete the discussion board post, and then forget that they have to go back and also comment on 2 of their classmates' posts. So just make sure that you are commenting on those 2 posts. And when I talk about commenting on those 2 posts, I really mean offering some insight or reflection or a different perspective or a way of thinking. So, I've taken online courses where you have the discussion board posts that are, oh yeah, I agree with everything you said. Thank you for your contribution, and that be it. That's not what I'm asking for. What I would like for you to do is really just give a couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph, and offer something to, your classmate, or really reflect on something that they said that made you think of something differently. So if you can, ask them questions or really get into depth about maybe why your perspective might be a bit different. Really just offer some insight and some detail on these posts for full credit. If you're able to do that, I think that we, will be in good shape. Let's just remember to be respectful to one another, but, I trust that we're all adults. And if you have any problems or run into anything with that, please feel free to let me know. Moving on from the discussion board, we will also have 3 quizzes. So the way that I have this, I believe, is every other unit, you will have a quiz, and each quiz is worth 25 points. Now, sometimes I get emails from students, asking me where to find answers. They say that they're having a really hard time finding it in the material. So I do want to let you know and reassure you that every single quiz question comes straight from the material that you're reading. So there is, there shouldn't be any trick questions or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I was really straightforward with it. But if you have any questions, please let me know. For papers and projects, you will have 2. So these are each going to be worth 50 points. So your first project that you are going to have, there is a template in the papers and projects section of this course. And what it is basically what I called a resource assignment. So what you're going to do is you are going to download this template, and you're going to see that I have listed every single counseling profession that we're going to go through and discuss in this course. What your job is to do, you are to go through every single one of those professions. I believe there's about 11 of them, between 11 and 15 if I'm not exact. And you are going to find out information about someone that either is in this profession in the Buffalo area, or if you're taking the course online, maybe you're from New York City or something like that, you can complete the assignment with professions from wherever you are located. You are going to, list the professional, a name and a contact for someone in your area that falls under that role. Also, what you want to be sure of, there is a column for credentials. What I would like you to do is find someone who has the credentials that match the required credentials for someone in that position. So, for example, last semester I had students who had found mental health counselors. These individuals had titled themselves as mental health counselors, but they actually had a degree in social work. So just make sure that if you're going to find a mental health counselor, that they actually are a licensed mental health counselor. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, please email me. But yeah, we want to make sure that we are being consistent with what we're learning about in the course as far as the credentials and whatnot. So the purpose of this resource assignment, what you're going to do once you complete it is you're actually going to post it to the discussion board. And there is a box in there for you to do that. And the purpose of this is because I want you to share it with the rest of your classmates. And the purpose of this is because you are actually going to sit down and interview a counseling professional as your final paper of this course. So sometimes what ends up happening is students have a really hard time locating a professional that is close to them to interview. So having all of these on the discussion board and having a variety of options or professionals to choose from just really broadens the spectrum and the options for other students to be able to locate a professional to interview. So the reason I allow for students to also list professionals from where they might be, even if they're not in the Buffalo area, is because we do have, Thanksgiving break that comes, through the semester. So say that you're living in New York City and you have another classmate who lives in New York City and might be going home for the holiday. If they're having trouble finding a professional here to interview, then they have, a resource or a resource assignment from another student that offers professionals who might be in their area for them to interview before they come back to the area. So I hope that makes sense. So the resource assignment is due a little early in the semester, and I know that makes it a little bit harder just because we haven't completely gone through all of the counseling professionals that you would have to know all the credentials for. But like I said, the textbook is very, very small, so if you just kind of flip through it and look at the credentials necessary, you should be in good shape. And then following the 2 papers and projects, we do have a cumulative assignment that is due the very last unit. So you will be finishing this the week of December 6th. This is basically just going through and reflecting. It's kind of like a cumulative, assessment that goes through the course from start to finish. Now, it's not very long, but it basically just goes through and asks you about counseling. What is counseling? What was your favorite unit? There's also an opportunity for feedback, so you can, let me know what you would suggest to improve this course and that kind of thing. So the assignments here in this course, there's not too much. And the reason I say that there's not too much is because I actually offer 2 weeks for every unit. So it's not like you're going to be completing a unit assignment and a discussion board and a quiz all in 1 week. That's not how I have the course set up. So you have 2 weeks to complete every assignment. Essentially, you'll have from Monday to the second Sunday from that Monday, and I'll go through that in just a second. Let's just see here. I think I went through all of the descriptions of all of the assignments. Okay. All right, I think that's it for the syllabus. Make sure you check out the syllabus. The university has included some additional things, some elements of the syllabus that are pretty important. There are some elements about mental health, any kind of potential sexual violence that may have occurred, and just different resources and who to talk to on campus if there's ever any concern about that. And I hope that there's not, but just in case, that information is there. So what I'm going to do now is I am just moving over to the course schedule. I apologize. So like I had mentioned, you have just about 2 weeks to complete every unit. So the intro, we will start as of Monday, August 26th, and then this unit will conclude on September 8th. So this unit is going to be pretty simple. I like to keep it light in the beginning of the semester because I know that you're kind of just getting acclimated to your new schedules. You might be a freshman and new on center or on campus, and keeping it light is usually a good thing in the beginning of the semester. I don't want to overload you too fast. So what I'm asking you to do is just review the syllabus, watch this video, locate and familiarize yourself with the materials, read chapter 1, which is only about 8 pages long. And then you're going to complete discussion board number 1. So you will find the prompts for the discussion boards not only in the discussion board, but also in the course schedule. So I do list them there for you just in case you're taking a look at the course schedule and you just, want to hop on over to the discussion board. So this is pretty straightforward. Like I said, there are some units that are kind of content heavy, and what I mean by that is there's just some research articles that I would like for you to kind of take a look at. So I know that as far as research goes, the University at Buffalo, we do a lot of research here, and I know that when I was an incoming freshman, I knew nothing about research. So I mean, you could take one of these research articles that I have here in the course for you, put it in front of me and be like, I have no idea what any of this means. And I know nothing about statistics. So I don't know how I'm going to internalize any of this information. Do the best you can. Generally, the substance of the material that I really want you to get out of these research articles are in the intro. That basically is just going to go through and give you an idea of what the study was looking at, what they were hoping to find, the different methods that they plan to use, or, the population and that kind of thing. So it'll give you all of the necessary information. As far as looking at, the different methods, the statistics that are involved in it, you don't have to look or rely so heavily on that, because if you jump to the end, towards the end of the discussion piece, that will basically break everything down for you. So that'll tell you what they were hoping to find, what they found, and what their conclusions are. So make sure you do read the discussion. So if anything, please be sure to at least read the intro and the discussion and the conclusion, because that's going to give you everything of what I'm looking for. So on the quizzes and the assignments, I'm not going to ask you about, any of the statistics or to interpret the statistics or anything like that. So please don't worry about that. that has been a concern for students in the past, and it kind of discouraged them because they said, like, I don't really understand this research because I don't know much about research or statistics or anything. And so I do want to give you that snippet, like, it's totally okay if you don't understand, because I know that I didn't, but I know that there are a lot of you that do. So if you do, that's really awesome. So other than that, we start on August 26th from Wednesday, November 27th to Saturday, November 30th. That is your fall recess. And then Friday, December 6th is the conclusion of the semester. So for this course, the way that I typically grade, I am teaching 2 sections. So just a little bit about me. I have a full-time job in addition to this, as well as my own practice. So during the day, I'm working essentially 8 to 5. And then I have, I think, 70 students here. So what I like to do is I do like to kind of just grade and get things out of the way. But I also know what it's like to be a very eager student and want my grades. So typically what I do, I set a deadline for myself that I have to have all of the assignments for that unit graded by the time that the following unit is due. So let me go back here and give you an example. So for example, all of your materials for the intro are due by September 8th. I will have all of those graded by September 22nd when the following unit is due. So while you have 2 weeks to complete the assignments, I have 2 weeks to grade that previous unit. Sometimes UB Learns can be a little tricky. Sometimes grades might not show up. Sometimes, if you don't press a certain button, the actual assignment won't submit. So if you're ever in UB Learns and you see a little like blue pie chart, for your submission, that means that it did not submit. So make sure that you have a yellow and white exclamation point for every assignment in UB Learns if you don't already have a grade there. There have been times at the end of the semester where I get emails from students asking why their grades are so low, and it actually turned out because UB Learns didn't process their submission for whatever reason. Maybe, they closed the window too fast or something. But I really want to make sure that everyone gets everything in that they need to. I am very lenient. If something happens, you have a family emergency or you need to go home for a little while, or, something happens or something gets in the way, please just reach out and let me know. I know what it's like to be, a college student. It can be tough. And when I was, an undergrad, I was also taking 18 credits a semester. So I totally get it. And, my philosophy is that I'm here to help you. I'm not here to, have you not pass my course. I really, really like, grading at the end of the semester and seeing that the majority of students have A's. So again, if you need absolutely anything, please feel free to reach out to me. And like I said in the beginning, we will be doing one of these videos at the beginning of every unit. So make sure that you watch it, just in case, there's some feedback that I have about a particular assignment or some details about an assignment or something like that. But other than that, if you need absolutely anything, please feel free to reach out to me. And other than that, I look forward to working with all of you this semester. All right, I'll see you soon.